So that was all about the credit card spend, especially in the month of November. But going forward also, how maybe they could shape up is something interesting that we are keeping an eye out on. But let's move on to the next discussion for today, and that is on Motiwala Osal's AMC, the small cap fund that has collected over 1,350 crores in terms of the NFO period. Now we're joined by Akhil Chaturvedi, Chief Business Officer at Motiwala Oswal, who is joining in with us as well. And let's understand some bit of a trend in the small cap fund, right? And Akhil, when you look at it, small cap, that is something that has been seeing that uptrend this year. Clearly that up move that we've seen coming in the mid cap and small cap space specifically has been quite high. It's seen a sharp run up. Do you think, small cap, the valuations are now becoming frothy? What are you seeing in terms of that? If you could just start by giving us that understanding first.
So, certainly I think, last year has been extra kind, markets have been extra kind to mid caps and small caps, and we've seen some superb returns from this category, which means that obviously compared to calendar year 22, the valuations have inched up. I think from investing perspective, I feel that we will have to look at more stock-specific opportunities from growth and PE multiple perspective. At the headline level, certainly mid-caps look to be fully priced for now. Small caps tend to give some comfort still, because if you see that it's still available at discount to early CY22 valuations, but mid-caps certainly are looking fully priced for now.
Well, as you have also mentioned in your PPT, we do understand that finding value when it comes to small cap is very difficult because the analyst coverage is also very low on this side. And now, given the sharp run up in the index that we have seen, where are the counters where you are seeing value right now?
So we have identified some themes as opportunities for this portfolio. So clearly in the healthcare, we are seeing opportunities in certain segments, more specifically in the hospitals. On the consumer side, high-end consumer discretionary, we are seeing certain opportunities from investing in today's market perspective. Some opportunities in capex, manufacturing, infrastructure, power, financials, both on the lenders as well as non-lenders. So these are going to be some of the 7-8 top themes under which we will look at some of these specific opportunities where, like I said, that we are expecting decent growth in the next 2 years and available at a reasonable price.
Now, on a YTD basis, we do know that the small cap index has run up nearly 53%, while the Nifty has run up close to 18%. But in this bull market cycle, where are we at this rally? Are we at the halfway or we have reached the end? What is your understanding here?
Can't say honestly. It's very difficult to predict, that what will happen into next year. I mean, if you go by the past track record, I think after a phenomenal run up in the mid caps and the small caps, it's quite natural that there could be some breather. It's a possibility that there could be some time corrections. We are not really expecting any major price corrections per se. But maybe 24 could be a year where large caps could do a catch up because in the last 3 years, large caps have underperformed mids and the small. So there could be a little bit of mean reversion here and some upside on the large cap. But the long-term story for mid and small, I think from India's context looks extremely exciting. But in short term, there could be some time correction, I feel, in the very, very short term perspective.
Right, Akhil, what I'm also seeing is in terms of, in the PPT you mentioned in terms of general elections, obviously, we're keeping an eye out on that overall in terms of the market as well. But, interesting that you mentioned that historically small caps have always been quite buoyant before and run up to those elections. Do you think, obviously, so till maybe the elections, this run up would continue and then maybe that is something, a possibility of a fizzling out coming in from the small cap side?
Yeah, so if you see the past data which we have put in our presentation, it clearly shows that prior to all the general elections, there have been, the markets have given positive returns, more specifically in the mid caps and the small cap space. But one has to keep in mind that last 1 year, the returns have been superlative, like 40%, 50% types. So how much the run up would be is anybody's guess. But till election, I think overall it should be positive. Sorry,
Sorry, you can continue.
one thing we have to keep in mind is that in the last 3 years, I certainly, we at AMC certainly feel that this has been a fundamental rally. The small caps and mid caps have not run up only on hope or expectation of earnings growth, but we have actually seen delivered earnings growth in the last 3 years, and that's why we are seeing this very strong rally combined with the liquidity which has been extraordinarily high. So for the full year now, January till date, we have seen almost 40,000 crores inflow into small cap. So good fundamentals combined with good liquidity is also keeping this part of the market extremely buoyant.
One last question, at least from my side. Now, given that you're also expecting large caps to catch up in 2024, so any investor who's investing in this NFO, what, according to you, would be the right time frame for them to stay invested in this fund? To get
I'm very clear. I'm very clear. If you're investing in small caps, you should have a 10-year plus kind of a horizon. Because these are young companies, these are emerging businesses. They are vulnerable to risk. So if at all there are any risk in the interim, one has to have the appetite to live through the volatility, and therefore the biggest or the best hedge for getting it right in the small cap space is time. And I would say certainly this should be a 10-year plus. I think the starting point should be 10 years.
Right. Akhil, and then lastly, just from me, in terms of, obviously you didn't mention some of the sectors, that are looking attractive now. But, I want to also talk about some of the China Plus One strategy or something in terms of urbanization. Is that something as a trend that you see picking up? And, that would be some of the trends that could work out well for these small cap names as well.
Yeah, certainly. So I spoke about consumer discretionary or high-end consumer discretionary, which correlates with your point on urbanization. So if you look at travel tourism, you look at the consumption which is happening in the jewelry segment, garments. These are some of the plays where clearly the urbanization theme is playing out. We've seen that in the numbers also, which are coming out from the companies and obviously reflecting in the price. China Plus One again in pockets, specialty chemicals is seemingly a good play. So yes, they are part of the themes, what we are looking at.
Okay, Akhil, thank you so much for joining in with us this afternoon on 18 Now and talking to us as well. So yes, that was Akhil Chaturvedi talking to us about small caps and what is interesting, what is not interesting as of now as well. Thank you so much for that. But with that, let's just step into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more updates on the market.